so bad to be part of this community, right? They're not what I've been told.
Hmm.
The biggest thing too was the hijab. Like we'll get extreme examples of, oh, look at these Boko Haram people who are doing female genital mutilation and forcing women to wear a niqab. No, was burqa? I think it's the one where you cover everything. And then
The burqa kind of on its own, it covers everything except for the face, but the niqab is the
the one
thing
that
that covers your face as well.
the one that covers everything.
Hmm.
And so I was like, And then I started thinking about my own culture. Then it all of a sudden something turned back because I thought, I'm really tired of having to buy all these clothes and to constantly think about how sexy I look.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is kind of a burden. This is a burden. And then the more I would work at night shifts and then have to take the bus home, and how drunk men in the street will catcall, they'll come up to you, and then I started realizing the male gaze. I want that person to go away, and I'm in my uniform for work, and I smell like food, and this person is bothering me. And I started getting more and more tired of the constant sex stimulation within my culture.
Hmm.
And I said, like, what can I do? Like, this is just too much, just too much. And there was times where not dressing modest, but then slowly getting more modest and more modest and more modest.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe Muslim women have a point here. Maybe Islam has a point of dressing modestly and simply and not being overly flashy because the material items control you, and then I'm wearing all this stuff to get validated by strangers, and then it's also attracting more men to stare at me longer than what I want them to when I really want them to go away,
Hmm.
because sometimes I can be more of an introvert, because in the community where I grew up, most of the time if you stare at somebody,
Hmm.
there can come an altercation. There's usually, what are you looking at? After 3 seconds, right? So I always had this mentality of like, well, I don't like when people stare at me, and I don't want these guys to keep catcalling me. And when I lived in the canal in San Rafael, in those Latino projects, the immigrant zone we call it, there was a lot of heavy catcalling where people would pull over their car as I'm walking to 7-Eleven and just say, hey mommy, and I'm like, just get away, just, oh my gosh.
What does
And
that mean?
so
What does that mean?
it means like mommy is like a chula, like a sexy lady
Oh, I see. I see.
in Spanish.
Sure.
It's yeah. And so it was very dark, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. I don't want to have to look pretty all the time. And when I had worked in this very fancy fur shop selling like very fancy fur coats, and I always had to dress like, like a little mini model, and I didn't really like it because I was like, this is too much pageantry. I don't want the pageantry. I don't want to be the doll.
Of course.
I don't want it. It's too much pressure. I don't desire it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I what an incredible